Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from, in all parts of the world. The video is dropping. Mikel Arteta's big targets. What is Arsenal's next upgrade going to look like? Fabrizio Romano, of course, did come out yesterday on the Here We Go podcast. Be very sure to follow Fabrizio Romano on Facebook, Instagram, and also on Twitch and on the Here We Go podcast. So make sure you follow him, because at times he doesn't publish all these stories on his Twitter account, like many of you are accusing me. So Fabrizio on the Here We Go podcast did come out and say that yes, according to Edu, there's going to be a massive upgrade for Arsenal this summer. Two big players, Champions level, and also smart signings are expected to come in at the club. However, the Athletic have already outlined Mikel Arteta's big signings and big transfer targets. What is the upgrade at Arsenal this summer going to look like? Who do we expect to come in as one of the Champions League level quality signings, and who do we expect to come in as one of the high, really price players in the summer? So to start off, I'll start off with the strikers, and then we will dive into the midfielders later on. So 3 strikers I've gone for, and 3 midfielders I've gone for according to the Athletic. I've dropped 2 players. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was also leaked by the Athletic as one of the players that Mikel Arteta would love to bring in as at Arsenal as a high-profile signing, as a high-quality signing, but also as a homegrown player. But according to the latest rumors, again from the Athletic, Arsenal have dropped interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, so I will not be talking about him in this video. I've also not talked about Tammy Abraham, despite the fact that Arsenal are really on the verge, not really on the verge, but are really on the case of signing him. They really want him, and they have held talks with the player's agent to see if he can join them. The Athletic have not identified him as one of the big signings in the summer that Mikel Arteta is eyeing. So who are the 3 strikers and who are the 3 midfielders that Mikel Arteta feels will upgrade his quality by far and will also add maximum quality to the squad? Let's get this video to 170 likes, and then I will be dropping my dream signings, players that I think can take Arsenal to the next level, not the choices of Mikel Arteta. We will have, of course, that will be another controversial video, but in this one, let's get the party started. Right, with the strikers, I've started off with Lautaro Martinez. According to the Athletic, they did bring out a couple of names. I've picked 3 of them: Lautaro Martinez, Victor Osimhen, and of course the man himself, Darwin Nunez. Now, to start off with Lautaro Martinez, he's one of those strikers that have been really on a high, in Europe. Inter Milan refused to sell him in the summer. Of course, they were willing to sell. The player never wanted to join Arsenal, according to Romano. Yes, there were talks between Arsenal and Inter Milan. There are also talks between Arsenal and the player. However, the player did not believe in Arsenal's project at the time. He felt like the Arsenal project was not yet ready, and he was not convinced about joining it. However, this summer, Arsenal believe that they will go back and try to sign Lautaro Martinez, given the fact that we might have Champions League football. So Lautaro Martinez this season has had a very exciting season as compared to the other strikers that Arsenal are linked with. And actually, I think one of the things that he has as a player, he has consistently done it at a top level. If you look at this season, those are his statistics. He's already scored 16 goals and assisted 3 times, an XG of 14.3. That means he's expected to score 14.3 times per 90. That is really high. His XA is 3.4. But what is interesting about Lautaro Martinez is his shot creating actions. He has 65 shot creating actions. Now, shot creating actions are those actions that directly lead to a shot, either a pass or a foul or anything of the sort. So it shows you that he has that ability to link up very well with other players, especially playing as a second striker or playing in that 4-3-3 system. This season, per 90, his highest ranks are interceptions, shots in total, shot creating actions, touches in the penalty area, which I think are very crucial, with 6.74 and standing at that 86% percentile. So look, Lautaro Martinez, I know why Mikel Arteta is interested in the player. You think he's one player who is already made. You bring him in the Premier League. He just needs to adapt to the system of Mikel Arteta and also adapt to the league. But everything else, I think he is a complete striker, and I would definitely 100% take him at Arsenal. Number 2 is Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez has had a very exciting season for Benfica. Last season was his breakaway season. He only scored 6 times, but assisted 9 times, which was very, very interesting. This season, he's been absolutely ridiculous. He's scored 25 league goals for Benfica already and assisted 6 times. In the Champions League, he scored 10 goals for them. That shows you the amount of quality he has as a player. Mikel Arteta loves the player, and Edu as well. We held talks with him in January. We tried to sign him in January, according to Fabrizio Romano. However, Benfica decided they will not sell in winter. Arsenal are back for the player in the summer, but Manchester United and a couple of other clubs around Europe are also fronting in their offers for the young Uruguayan striker. But if you look at his statistics this season, he's scored 26 in the league. He's actually played 25 games in the league and scored 26 goals. That means he literally affects every game with a goal per 90. He has 4 assists. That means he's got involved in 29 goals in 26 games for them in the Premier La Liga for in Portugal. I think that is really interesting. What is scary about his statistics, despite the fact that he's scored very many goals, if you look at his shot creating actions, he only has 6. That means that his link-up play this season in terms of assisting other players and also setting them up for shots has not been good. And also he's not set up anyone for a goal. He's not created any goal scoring opportunities for other players. But if you look at what he's done, he's done very very well. In the 96th percentile or percentage, he's got the penalty goals, standing at 0.73 per 90. That is too high. Literally, he's close to scoring a goal per game. Progressive carries also standing at 5.4, 88%. Dribbles completed 1.6, standing at 88%, and interception as well, standing at 0.59. What I like about Darwin Nunez, and many Arsenal fans will agree with me, he's a fox in the box. He's that player that would add lots of quality to Arsenal, especially aerial ability that players like Gabriel Jesus joining Arsenal will not bring to the side. But also his physique is a very good one. He's a very young striker, 21 years of age. He can learn a lot from Mikel Arteta, and this is a system, this is a project where he can come in and become easily the king of the project, or probably the face of the project. Like Fabrizio Romano says, they want a striker that who will come in to become the face of the project. In number 3 is Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is highly regarded by Mikel Arteta, and Napoli want close to 100 million this summer. However, Mikel Arteta is not interested in the price tag. He is interested in the player. My problem with Victor Osimhen has not changed. He's not had a successful campaign where he scored more than 14 goals in a campaign. That really worries me for a player of his caliber. This season he has already scored 12 goals and 1 assist in 23 matches. If he can score 2 more or 3 more goals, then he will hit the numbers, which will be 15. In the UEFA Europa League, he scored 4 goals for them. That means in 28 games he has actually scored 16 goals. I think he's not a bad player. If we look at his statistics down here, he's not a bad player. He just needs to add to his game. He's 23 years of age. He's reaching that age. He's reaching that level where you have to perform. So if you look at his performances here, not really that bad. I think he can do better. Shot creating actions per 90 is starting at this season, standing at 44. That means he really engages in play and helps other players in terms of getting into the game and also setting them up for shots. And also he has also set up 7 goal scoring opportunities for the other players. If you look at his strength this season. Shots in total, in total, he's had 3.87. Non-penalty goals is starting at 0.70. That is in the 96th percentile. Non-penalty goals is starting at 0.5, and that, of course, that shows you that he's got the ability to score those goals. He's got the ability to lead that line if he can be a little bit more clinical. Because if you look at his XG and XA up here, his XG is actually 9.8. That means that per 90 he can score 9 games. This season is one of the players that you think have a very, very high XG, expected goal ratio. 9.8, that is so good. And of course, if you combine his non-penalty goal rate with his expected assists, you'll get something like a 10.9, which I think is a very, very good is a very, very good statistic for a player like Victor Osimhen. So those are the 3 strikers that Mikel Arteta feel would add Champions League quality to Arsenal. The midfielders coming up next. So the Athletic then identified high-class midfielders as well, players that Mikel Arteta thinks would add a massive upgrade to the Arsenal midfield, especially a central midfielder, one who plays like a 6 and also as an 8. 3 players are on the cards at the moment: Lucas Paqueta, Ruben Neves, and Yuri Tielemans. Now, to start off with Lucas Paqueta, he would be my preferred option. Look, he's not among my dream signings, and I don't think he would be one player that I would desperately go for, but I really, really like him. But I think among the 3 options, Ruben Neves, Yuri Tielemans, and Lucas Paqueta would be the better player, because honestly, he's very, very versatile as compared to Ruben Neves and Yuri Tielemans, because Neves plays that as an 8 and a 6 as well. But Lucas Paqueta can also play as a right attacking winger, can also play as a central attacking midfielder. So Arsenal getting Lucas Paqueta means you also have a direct cover for Martin Odegaard that is given or provided he's injured or out for the season or for some time. If you look at Lucas Paqueta this season, 8 goals and 6 assists there according to FBref. Wonderful statistics. But what is interesting about him is this. Look at his expected number of goals and also look at his expected number of non-penalty goals. That means that as a midfielder, he's one that plays in a more advanced position, and he would give Arsenal some more creativity right from the deeper areas. For a player who plays far away from goal like that, to have at least 9.9 non-expected goals and also 10.6 expected goals per 90, I think that is interesting. That is absolutely interesting. This season has been really phenomenal. A couple of clubs are really chasing his signature. Arsenal have gone in with an offer for to Lyon, but Lyon are saying it must be 80 million pounds for the midfielder to be working in the summer. This is his 2nd season at Lyon, and he's really done a great job in terms of just adding a massive upgrade to their midfield. But also, if you look at what he's done with Brazil and how they reached the finals of the Copa America, he's just a really, really good, talented player. I love the vibes about him. I also love the fact that he's gifted and technically able. Arsenal would have an exciting midfielder. I think someone who resembles Bruno Guimaraes, Santi Cazorla, something like that. One who can play in the pivot, who can play in a 4-3-3 and stay very, very comfortable. So I think with Mikel Arteta wanting that kind of versatility, players who are able and players who are very, very flexible, Lucas Paqueta would be a good signing for Arsenal. But then, among these 3, my priority signing would be Ruben Neves. Now, Ruben Neves has played in the Premier League for almost now 6 years, consistently giving Wolves that kind of depth in the midfield and also massive quality. Arsenal were linked with him in the summer, £45 million it was, but we failed to pay the money, and we said we'll be paying at least less than that this summer. We now, according to the Athletic, Arsenal have held talks with the player's agent, that is Jorge Mendes. We do not know if a deal is close or far away from happening. United under Erik ten Hag would also want the player, but we are very, very happy and glad that they are switching their thoughts and targets to Calvin Phillips. If you look at Ruben Neves, the only disadvantage he has as a player in that central midfield, he doesn't provide very many, he doesn't provide very many shot creating actions as well as goal creating actions as compared to Yuri Tielemans and Lucas Paqueta. What he gives you is, it would be kind of an upgrade to Granit Xhaka. He gives you stability in terms of holding the ball, passing it around, and making sure that Arsenal or a club, that any club is playing for, does not lose it. The other thing you love about you love about Ruben Neves is his ability to strike out, right from outside the box. That is one of the abilities I really love about him. And if you look at this season, his statistics here, he has he's ranking very low in terms of expected goals and expected assists. In a season, he's only scored 4 goals and assisted twice. I think the reason there is he plays kind of very, very far away. He loves playing very far away from goal, and he's majorly his reason and and style of play in a team is to just help you have the ball a little bit more, just keep the ball a little bit more and be secure with it. So in Mikel Arteta's team, for me, he would he would provide that kind of base, allow players like Thomas Partey go up and high up the pitch, as well as Martin Odegaard. Or in a 4-3-3, then you would have him play a little bit high up the pitch. But in my opinion, if you play him with Thomas Partey, then he becomes the best, and Thomas Partey becomes part of the attacking threat in the team. And lastly is Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans has been linked with Arsenal and a couple of other clubs. Tielemans is out of contract in 2023, so Leicester City will be selling him this summer. He's very exciting as a midfielder. If you look at his statistics in the past years, he's been averaging at least 3 goals per season, and also averaging at least 4 assists per season. He plays in that deeper role with Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester City, plays as an 8, just behind Maddison, and it shows you that it shows you the quality he has as a player, because at this per season he gets involved in 10 goals or more for Leicester City in all competition. So my thoughts about Yuri Tielemans do not change. I think he's a very, very good player. His problem though is comes in when it comes to the defensive actions. If you look at this curve, if you look at these statistics from FB Rev, they show you very well where he ranks very, very low. He ranks very low in terms of pressures and also winning area duels. Interceptions, he ranks very low, and also pass completion for a player who plays in that role, standing at 80%. He ranks in the 32% percentile. Tackles per 90, he has 2.2 per 90, which is also still very, very low, given the fact that he plays as a supportive defensive midfielder, just next to the player, just next to the defensive midfielder in the pivot. So my thoughts about Yuri Tielemans: I think Arsenal need to get him if you have a player like Yves Bissouma. But when you have a player who is very, very mobile like Thomas Partey, who loves to be on the ball and on the move all the time, it would be better to bring in a player like Lucas Paqueta and Ruben Neves. The beauty about Lucas Paqueta and why I like him is he's one of those players that have the ability to give you offensive threats and also defensive stability. Not almost at the same level, but at least what he gives you in terms of going forward can be replicated in terms of defensive dwell. So in your opinion, who do you think should be coming in? It cannot be more than 2: 1 central midfielder, 1 super striker, and of course smart signings for Mikel Arteta in the summer. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll speak to you right in the next one.